Hi dudes, what's going on? Welcome again to another World 7 video. Now, you guys liked the previous format before, so we're going to be doing it again, except this time we are doing super talents for every class. So strap in, because this is going to be a long one. Shout out to the Twitch subs and YouTube members that keep this dream a reality. Anyways, let's get into it. So what is a super talent? A super talent is something that you can attach to specific talents that increase the overall talent amount. So for instance, baseline, if you put a super talent on talent, it gets plus 50 talent points to it, which makes it just a little bit stronger than every other talent because you can only hit a maximum, but you only get a set amount. How to unlock them is at the legend talents that we were talking about before on super talent point yellow 1, which allows us to get one super talent per 100 levels. So 500, 600, 700, and so on per character. You need to level up your characters if you want to benefit on each super talent point. Since the baseline is only 50, there's ways to upgrade this as well, such as the super duper talent, which gives plus 50, so it gives you up to a maximum of 100. Also with the new zenith farming as well, the market makes it so you can also upgrade the super dupers. They do scale in cost and get quite expensive, but you can basically get as much as you can. I don't know what the maximum is, but so far I have 10. And the last known source that we know of about right now would be the Lunarheim cave in Splunking, which doesn't increase how much the super talent gives, it just gives you plus 1. Now we're going to try to do this fairly fast because it's a long video and we have a lot of classes to go through. So when it comes to suggestions, we're going to have things such as green, which is a must-have, yellow, which is a situational, and red is just completely avoid. That way, we can kind of get a good understanding of what you want, and for the most part, not make a mistake, because a lot of these have diminishing returns. Now, remember, this is all opinion, and I'm just saying that so I have to take no accountability if someone tells me I'm wrong. So since it's opinion-based, let's get into it. So we're going to start off with actually the class that benefits least from the super talents, at least right now before the master classes, is Siegebreaker. So basically this whole page is not necessary, except for one. And that one being elusive efficiency, because it scales really high. The more points you put into this talent, the higher the efficiency scales. So it's just an overall must in your skilling preset easily. I feel like tab 2 is a lot of the same. Yeah, you could do piercing arrow, but I think the problem is with piercing arrow is it still just doesn't scale. We actually don't use it that much anymore with our other talents are just overall better. Kung Fu kick, not really feeling that because it's just increasing pixel even though it goes across. It's a meme dream if you want to kick them across the screen, but not necessary. The health one, mana, Archer doesn't really benefit much from it. Movement speed, we already have thousands of movement speed anyways. Multi-shot, not really necessary. Now when it comes to Veins of the Infernal, which is the damage, increased damage by 32% for every 10 smithing levels. This recently got capped, so it's actually not very good anymore. And you'll notice a trend as we're going through. These specific upgrades have a lack of scaling. You don't really want to super talent them. Because let's be honest, if you're at a point where you're using super talents, you're probably not looking for this type of damage anymore. So I personally can't suggest Vein of the Infernals, and Polymorph Limb actually falls off over time. It starts pretty strong at the start, but then it falls off in the later game. But another one that's super huge, as I strongly suggest, is the Garb of Unaging Quality, which gives all equipment a % more agi than listed. This is really good because all equipment is base stat. So then it scales immensely off all stat %. So this is just increasing anymore. And this is a substantial amount. You'd think it'd be small, but you'd be amazed of how much your gear carries the amount of the stats that you currently have. So I would strongly suggest, at least for the most part for skilling, that you want to take this, but you could also actually take this in combat as well. And the rest of them I don't really suggest other than Acme Anvil, just to get some of those extra smithing points, and then you can just respec after it. But I mean, other than that, it's meh. It's meh. I give it a situational tier at best. Tab 3 is kind of the same deal. For the bowman, I would say yes to homing arrows. I feel like this just gives you more arrows and more damage. This is also part of your kit when it comes to your Siegebreaker talent setup for combat specifically. I can consider this being a decent one. But that's not saying much considering how many choices we actually have when it comes to the Siegebreaker. Now you may be asking yourself, Griffy, what about speed DNA? Again, Siegebreaker recently got a huge nerf, so now his movement speed is capped. So since his movement speed is capped, therefore his scaling is capped. So it's just not really worth it. The amount of damage that you get for the extra supers actually sucks. So no. I do not suggest it. Now, I feel like you can add Agi again to super talents. This is going to be situational tier due to the fact that if you have the super talents and you want to spend it, sure, but you're going to you want to prioritize other things first before you prioritize something like this, because it will just give you more base Agi, which will scale off all stat percent. But I would say when you have a more or less extra points, because especially with World 7 and how far we're able to push levels, we might even end up to level 1400. And who knows if we're going to get more super talent points from other places as well. Telekinetic logs is actually a thing that I'd suggest to super, because this gives catching efficiency per power of 10 oak logs, which is good. This is what you want. This is how you get higher prints. This is how you push tome score, or just getting prints in general. But we're really sort of picking hairs at this point. But I would say yes, of course, you'd want this. And the next one, Briar Patch Runner. Yes, this is 100% one I take as well, because agility has a larger effect on catching efficiency than normal. So this is just overall scaling to your prints. Now, you'd be like, Griffy, what about the XP one with the catching bugs? And what about the AFK one? I mean, you can if you're looking to push skilling XP for this, sure, if you want. But I mean, it's already a lot of XP, and I'd rather see you super the other two for the actual efficiency itself. And Sunset on the Hives, you just don't get the value. You don't get the value from supering whatsoever. It's just so small and minute that I wouldn't do it. And finally, tab 4. This is where it got a little bit sort of iffy on talking about it, because I wanted to say that things were better than they were, but after some testing, they just didn't really come out on top. I feel like Cannonball is actually pretty useless, in my personal opinion, so it's not something that I would actually suggest. Now, suppressing fire, on the other hand, I think is good. I know a lot of people may disagree with this, but I think suppressing Cannonball is actually quite strong. It also gives you multiple hits, which helps things for like Dummy to help with your Shimmer Isle weekly. And it's good for your Plunder's Mob farming, because if you're one-shotting anyways, you have a bunch of extra mini balls due to the fact that you're supering. So this is actually a decent talent to take, in my opinion, specifically for combat. I don't feel really good about the bomb of how it shoots out. It's okay at best, but it's not something that I would. It's too much RNG of where it throws it around, and I just, yeah, it's not for me. It's not for me. I don't suggest it. Now, Pirate Flag, I do suggest for combat specifically as well, because this just increases the times HP and XP and drop reward, which is, more gains. More gains equal better. So that's great. That's awesome. So yes, even though the Plunder's mobs are a lot tankier, it's still worth it. Now, the reason why I don't suggest doubloons is because you may be saying to yourself, Griffy, why would you not use doubloons? Now, hear me out. If you have everything set up to Plunder's mob farm, which you should by World 7, I would assume, you're already basically at max duration, because with V-Man enhancement, you are getting 150 Plunder's mobs before a coin drops, or you're going to reset it continuously. So you actually don't need to spend a super point on this, because the duration is basically maxed out anyways, because you're able to keep it going regardless. So it's just kind of a waste of a redundant super point. Stack Skulls. This is something that I'm going to suggest basically on every class. This is incredibly strong. It gives you 34%, or if you super it, higher, kill per kill per 1,000 agi or stat, depending on what character you are. Now, although it does not work in World 7, specifically this talent, because of the nerf, this is still disgusting. This is amazing for pushing, for whatever you need to do. I strongly suggest this for basically any combat worth the progression that you're going to super this for combat. It is just so strong in every class, especially if you have the ability to scale the main stat that high. So yes, green flag all the way. Now, these next ones are kind of interesting. Skill Ambidextrous gives a higher impact. The scaling isn't that great, but it also gives you a little bit of agility. I'd still prefer it over doing Agi again talent, the one that I said situational. I personally like this for skilling, so I do suggest it for skilling specifically. And I would say Adaptation Revelation is kind of the same deal when it comes to the sort of tier of situational. You can take it if you want, if you have this kind of the spare points, but other than that, you don't need to. And of course, last but certainly not least, Arc Lord of the Pirates. You get XP and drop rate per power of 10, which is really nice. The drop rate is super big, 1 million. If we super it, it gets almost to 30% multiplicative drop rate. Not additive, multiplicative. So it's big. And of course, I would suggest symbols, but unfortunately, we cannot super symbols. And if you're ever wondering why I don't pick like a super overpowered choice, probably because you can't. But anyways, at this point in time, Siegebreaker sucks huge Dodongo balls, so it's definitely something that I don't suggest. It's definitely something that really sucks for super talents, but maybe he'll get better in the masterclass. But until then, you should live his life either farming golems or putting the fries in the bag. Let's move on to the next one. Next up is the Windwalker. We're going to be sticking with the same class just so it's super easy to going through. Same thing as before, for the exact same reason, elusive efficiency. Now, this one is slightly different with Kung Fu Kick because the only reason that I give it as a situational rather than a no is for tower defense. So if you're doing tower defense, yeah, maybe you could super it, but other than that, no. Garb of Agility Quality, same reason as before. And Acme Anvil for the exact same reason as well. Now for the first three, I don't necessarily suggest because 360 no scope splits its damage between monsters, which is really, really mid at best. Bear Trap, it only hurts one enemy. Like if it had the augment for it, maybe it would be good, maybe it would be cool, but it's not good enough for me to justify supering it. And then Urarar is not very good either due to the fact that, I mean, it's just not. We have a better respawn mechanic now. This does nothing in comparison to what Deer does. Stop right there. Kind of the same deal as before as well, is we would only take this in tower defense because, hey, higher tower defense because we can stop them and end up doing more damage. Also, no on the multi-hit, and kind of the same deal with the Looty McShooty. The damage doesn't really scale as nicely as you think it does, so unfortunately, you only get a very minute amount when it really comes down to it, so you're going to be avoiding it for the most part anyways. So it's just something that I can't suggest. And the only two that I can actually suggest on this page would be Eagle Eye, because you super Eagle Eye, you get more critters, which gets more XP, which means great, awesome. And then Reflective Eyesight, which gives you shiny critter chance. So if you're still at that point where you're still struggling with a little bit of shiny chance because of shiny snitch, because it nukes it, well, then that just gives you the extra chance. Now you could say, what about trapping efficiency? Or what about trapping XP? There are so many buffs in this game now where trapping efficiency basically shouldn't exist. It's just almost not necessary. You can farm turtles basically as soon as you start trapping. And if you're at this point of the game where you are getting super talents, then it's especially not worth it. Now I do suggest Ballista because Ballista gives you more damage for your auto attacks, which is great. That's what we want. Increases the amount of mobs you can hit, so that's great. Definitely helps with combat. I would not suggest Boar Rush because Boar Rush is kind of mid at best. Whale Wallop though, one of the best abilities in game, super good, super strong. Strongly suggest to make sure that you would super this because more whales equals more damage equals better person. No Nachos, kind of the same deal as Boar Rush, it's pretty mid at best. And then we are going to do Stack Skulls once again because it's very, very good. Love me some Stack Skulls. You're going to take this, same reason for the other archer. Now the difference is the next two that you would think that you would take, but no, they're situational as well. Situational for skill ambidextrous because we don't really need a lot of efficiency at this point when it comes to trapping, so it really doesn't matter all that much. And adaptation relevation is kind of the same deal. If you have the extra talent points, go for it. If not, throw it in the trash. And the last two is Arena Spirit. It's situational if you want to super it to maybe get a couple more minutes of some tries or maybe some more pet damage. And Curvature of the Paw if you want to get some highest pet power if you're trying to, I don't know, maybe push Tome or maybe get a little bit stronger for some spices. But other than that, it's situational at best. And finally, something that's a little bit interesting and obviously the one that we wanted to see with the Windwalker is obviously the Windwalker tab. For the first two, I am going to give situational, but also a check mark. Here's why. It's situational if you're in Windwalker mode. If you are in Windwalker mode, you take this. If you're not in Windwalker mode, you don't take it. Tempest Form gives you more Tempest damage, and then Compass gives you more Dust Found, which only works in Tempest mode. Spirit Ballista is working with your auto attacks, so yes, you want to get this because it gives you more damage. So yes, of course, we want this. Internal Hunt is also a really good one because this is your main respawn skill. Not only that, it also increases Dust Found per reindeer kill in Tempest mode. Some commandments, you absolutely want to super this one. This one is fantastic because it makes your reward last longer. It has a chance to double soar boars and nachos and a % faster on whale cooldown, which is whale's biggest downfall is its high cooldown. So yes, absolutely, some commandments, 100% what you want. Now, unfortunately, I can't suggest Windborn because accuracy and defense is literally not necessary when it comes to Tempest Form because you get an abundance of it. But Elemental Mayhem, same thing, situational, but yes, because if you're in Tempest Form, you take it. If you're not in Tempest Form, you don't take it. And Pump and Power, I also don't suggest just because you already get a bunch of crit chance anyways, so you're not really getting that much more from it anywho. Unreal Agility and Medallion are personally going to be in situational tier, because if you are on a mob that has medallion, say for samurais, for XP farming, which isn't really relevant now, yeah, you're going to be running that. But you're probably not going to need it because we're in World 7 now, but Windwalker trying to push to World 7 isn't really going to be there. So yeah, it's situational at best. And the next three I'd strongly suggest, because if you're not playing your Windwalker at the moment and he's doing something else, of course you want the ninja knowledge to be way cheaper. This helps with sneaking. You want sneaking XP because this also helps you push as well. And then you want to also add 2 new sneaking gemstones to find and boost all gemstone bonuses by 3 times. These 3 talents at the bottom are fantastic. They're something that you're going to run if your character, especially not doing very much. Definitely 100% suggest. Now, same as this as well, when it comes to Dustwalker, it's going to be if you're in Windwalker form, yes, you take it. If not, you don't take it. And for the last one, if you are pushing XP and you have a lot of bombs, then you will take this for XP farming. But I mean, if you don't really have the super points, you can get something else. I feel like Windwalker with super talents is a good spot, but it's more playing a support role rather than it's playing a full combat role due to the fact of its trapping. So it's not going to really be beneficial for Prince, but as it sits right now, it's really good for boosting up sneaking. Now it's time to take a look at the GOAT. We have the Divine Knight. We need to ramp this up a little faster or else we're going to be here forever. You don't take anything but brute efficiency for the same reason as everything else. We don't use Power Strike. We don't use Whirl. It's not necessary. I would say situational for HP overdrive because it gives you more HP %, but at the same time, this is mostly meant for skilling. I do not suggest double hit because double hit's kind of mid. I do suggest firmly grasp it though, because it does give you a substantial amount of strength for quite a low cost, and it lasts basically forever. So it's just great. It's just free strength. Now I do put strength and numbers in situational tier because it's actually good for skilling because it increases your HP by a decent amount, but it's not really good for scaling damage so far. We tried it. It was very minimal. Stress test garbs, on the other hand, for the same reason everything else, it's good. You want to take it. And carry a big stick. It's the scaling, man. It's the scaling that's the problem. It's just not, weapon power is just not scaling the way that it needs when it comes to, stuff like carry a big stick that I can't suggest to super it. Now, it is supered on my page because I tried it to test it out and it really didn't benefit that much. So since it didn't benefit that much, it didn't really feel like it was worth it. So I'm going to talent reset after I've done everything and fix it up. But for now, it's fine for where it is. Absolute unit, base strength, kind of the same deal. Is if you have the leftover points, sure, do it. From the grasp it, I would argue that in the exact same spot as well. Personally think that the gold food buff is not scalable high enough to make this worth it, because at 554 it gives you 48%. So you're gonna not use the super talent to get like what, maybe a percent, maybe 2%. No thank you. And the bottom three, we have big pick. Yes, 100% take this on your skilling build because this is where a massive amount of your efficiency comes from. It's bonus, baby. This is what you want. Big pick is great. Copper collector, absolutely. Copper collector is fantastic for the mining efficiency and for every power of 10 copper ore in the storage chest. Yes. You want to boost this up. No mother load because we already get base multi-ore drop anyways, so that's just a straight no. And tool proficiency because you get more mining power than what's listed every 10 mining levels you have. So this is also good because you want to boost up those prints. Shockwave Slash is fantastic for supering because this is basically the whole kit of the DK. So definitely wanting to super this is going to be beneficial for you. Daggerang, I would suggest to do Daggerang later on. I would suggest you to do super Magarang first, and then if you have extra points, then super Daggerang. So Magarang first, then Daggerang. But since I had the extra points, I did end up doing this. But yes, it just means more mobs, which means more damage, which means ultimately you could just hit the whole map with this. It's great. It's awesome. All this other stuff sucks. It's just mastery, accuracy, whatever. We have enough accuracy at this point. We don't need it. Now, I feel like this is going to be a catch-22 for most people. It's just like, precision power, do we super it? Do we not super it? Some people has insane refinery rank, some people don't. I can't suggest it for me personally. Unless you're at like a super late game, but we even tested it. Its scaling is still dog dookie. So I don't know if I can suggest this still. It's just the scaling issue. But maybe people that have 10K plus refinery, maybe it scales a little bit better and then you super. But as it sits right now, if you're 2K or less, or even up to maybe 5K, no, don't take it. It's just bad scaling. That's all it is. Strength some more, same thing as all the other ones that we've talked about before. Refinery throttle, this is kind of, I mean, I guess you can take it if you're in the lower ends of refinery, but I can't. It's just refinery gets so fast that it's just pointless because this will do literally nothing. But I mean, I don't know. It's up to your own discretion on this one. Redox rates though, yeah, I suggest more build speed. More build speed is good. We have lots of construction that will take forever. Yes. And then sharper saws, I can't really suggest for more construction XP. I mean, sure, it's a little bit. You may be saying, Griffy, it's more XP, which means more build rate. Yeah, I get that. It's not enough for it to be beneficial. And then super sample and back to basics, you know why we're not going to take those. And finally, the final page. First one's right up the bat. Nightly Disciple is one of your bread and butters. This is absolutely something you want to take. It scales off your shockwave, so it's even better. The more you have it, the longer it lasts. So you can get a lot of knights on the table. Mega Mongarang, ginormous Daggerang, then absolutely you want to take it. You can even see in the background how big my Daggerang is right now. It is pretty big. You know, it increases in size, which is funny. It increases the amount of mobs that it hits, and it scales off Daggerang. So yes, I do suggest this. Divine Intervention, no, it's a very small scaling when it comes to crit damage, so don't suggest it. Before there was a recent fix to Orb and Portal. So now I suggest that you want to do Orb of Remembrance to increase the duration, because now we can just get a higher orb on average, which is great. So yes, you do want to super this now, which means higher orb, which means more gains. More gains means big happy. I would argue that imbued shockwaves is pretty situational at this point. It gave me like another 2% for a super. So if you could justify 2% for a super, sure. But other than that, nah. Charred Skulls, same thing as before. Super high scaler for kill per kill. We get 166,000% for almost 5 million strength. Yes, please. Skill strengthen, anything that you can do to increase our ore prints. This is definitely something that we want. Yes, give me more, please. And Overblown Testosterone is the same deal as everything before. If you can find it out to make it work situationally, sure. And the bottom four all have to do with gaming. I mean, you could do Bitty Liddy if you want for gaming specifically for the skill, sure. King of Remembered, I don't suggest it because we already have so much printer output at this point that if you super it, it's going to give you a very small negligible amount. Thousands hour played is barely any gaming XP to make it beneficial. And Undying Passion, we're basically guaranteed gaming anyways, so this is basically nothing. It's a big old nothing burger. I feel like DK when it comes to super talents is actually a pretty solid spot. I think DK is never going to be in not a super solid spot thanks to Orb of Remembrance. Great class. Favorite class, by the way. Holy G Willikers, Batman. Now we are on Blood Berserker. Same thing as before. All of this doesn't matter except for brute efficiency. Boom. This page is also the same because of the exact reason, because of copper ore prints. W copper ore prints. Now this is where things change a little bit. Bear Swipe, I mean, it's gonna give a big old meh from me, dog. I'm gonna be honest. It's okay, but the scaling is kind of poopy. Axe Roll though, yeah, I mean, Axe Roll scales off of your auto attacks. So I mean, it's gonna be the same as like Shockwave. So yes, Mocking Shout, can't suggest. Mocking Shout's kind of mid, and also No Pain No Gain. These are both kind of like No Pain No Gain doesn't really scale very well because it's total damage percent, and Mocking Shout, I mean, it's just it's already so useless. Like if you're a barbarian, sure, but we're not a barbarian anymore. We're a Deathbringer. This is useless because we do AoE damage anyways. So by the time they even walk close to you, they're all dead regardless. Monster Decimator though, every little bit counts. If you guys didn't know, Deathbringer has the highest kill count in the game. So just getting a little bit more will be a little bit better. So making sure you're supering that is definitely beneficial. Now the next three, can't really suggest. Apocalypse Zao, really bad scaling. Fistful of Obols, really bad scaling. And you really don't run that much for strength Obols anyways. And strongest statues, really bad scaling. Most of it has really bad scaling. Strength and more gets a situational tier though. It's not bad. It's all right. Same thing as before. And for the bottom of the tab, you have Worming Undercover. This is fantastic. This is basically the same as like Big Pick for fishing. This is something that you want to take. This definitely helps out a lot. Bobbing for bobbers. Yeah, it caps. It caps at 167. So, I mean, this is useless. Fishing XP, yeah, but we have an abundance of it, and the scaling's, it's okay. And catching some Z's is fishing away game, terrible scaling. So basically, you're just really only focusing Worming Uncover when it comes to at least fishing. And besides, you're prioritizing copper ore prints anyways for your atoms because fish become, well, essentially redundant later on. Now, I don't suggest any of the top tab for the Blood Berserker tab. I'm fired up. It's just, it increases attack speed. We have Cauliflower now. Doesn't exist. If we inflame set of a combustion explosion, 950% to up mods to 34. Yeah, sure, okay. We don't really need this either because we had the upgrade to the DeathBringer tab. The Serrated Swipe is the redheaded stepchild of all talents. Nobody uses this ability. This is as good as Kung Fu Kick. I hate you, Serrated Swipes. Ember Bear, again, we're not really getting to the point where we're really benefiting from the bear. And Ferocity Strike's kind of the same deal as the Double Strike. It's bad scaling. And of course, the next two, Charge Skulls, for the same reason. Before, for the DK, and Skill Strengthen. Same thing before for the DK. And Overblown Testosterone. Same thing, like I said, for the DK. And for the bottom tab, if you're this far and you don't have all plates unlocked, I don't know what to tell you. I don't. I have no idea what to tell you. So, I mean, we don't suggest this. This one, though, you can super it if you want a little bit more of that cooking efficiency, which in turn gives you a little bit more of that juicy ladle count. So, I mean, you can do it at your own accord if you feel like it. AFK gains, bad, doesn't scale. Overflowing ladles, yeah, and it increases how much AFK it gives you per ladle. It's a W. It's a net worth. And finally, the Deathbringer tab. Wraith form, it's the same thing as Tempest form. It's great if you are in the form. It's not necessary if you aren't in the form. Same thing with Grimoire. It's the bones to increase, the same as the dust % increase. So same reason for that. Sentinel and axes, absolutely. Auto tax. This scales great. This is something that you want because this only makes your axes bigger. It also is your main source of damage. So it's great. Graveyard shift, of course, you want this. Mob responds faster. This is your respawn mechanic. So of course you want to super that. And detonation, I know it's like, oh, you have a guaranteed over chance to trigger a combustion explosion, but this just increases the size of the combustion range. That's why I suggest it. Marauder style, kind of the same deal. If you're in Wraith form, sure. If not, no. Bulwark style, can't suggest it. It's just we don't need defense and HP with the Grimoire. Famine of Fish, kind of the same deal. It's just not worth the scaling. Built different, situational, especially if you're doing stuff like skilling. And ribbon, yes, you want ribbons. Ribbons are great. We all want more ribbons. If we can get more ribbons better. Level 20 ribbons are a must and will take literally ages. Now for the last ones, mass irrigation for crop evo and insta grows give you 2 times growth for selected crops. I mean, yeah, if you need a little bit more crop evo, sure. But thanks to metal crops that we get from slunking, it's not really that necessary. So if you are at a point where you're still pushing farming, sure, but I don't suggest it. Agriculture appreciation, that's how you say it? I don't know. This is great. You want to super this because it'll help you with farming XP, but also land rank XP gain, which is important, especially for the tome. Dank ranks gives all bonuses in land rank database times higher their bonuses. Yes, absolutely you want this. This is even better now because now we can get to 41 on our far right. So that means that's more stealth. That means that's more drop rate. That means it's more damage. And that also means it's more all stat. So yes, I strongly suggest to take dank ranks. And of course, you're going to want to take Wraith Overlord and super it because it gives you a damage multi. More damage, big happy, big number, incremental game. And for the last one, for Apocalypse, wow, I don't suggest because the scaling sucks. Okay, we have done archers, we've done warriors. Let's get started on the mages. Are you sensing a trend? Because I sure am. Because guess what? Except for this one. For the same reason as every single other one. Big scaling or big logs. Smart efficiency, you want a super. The top row basically sucks. You could argue mana overdrive, but you gotta realize that Hocus Chopus is the whole reason why you'd want to run mana for skilling. Doesn't scale as well as Hardy Diggy. So it's something that you can kind of just skip. And I mean, the other two kind of suck. Knowledge is power is kind of situational. It's decent. The scaling's okay. I would say it's situational. Untwisted Robes, yes, absolutely. Do it. Yes, 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 absolutely. Same reason as all the other classes. Power Overwhelming? No, I don't. It's the scaling, man. The scaling's terrible. Scaling is absolute garbage. Free meal chance, we already have 99%. Don't matter. And individual insight, same thing. Situational, it's extra wisdom. And the bottom three, we have logs on logs. Yes, please. Oh yeah, I love me some logs on logs. One of the best talents in the game for skilling. All right, it goes from little itty baby prince to big chunky daddy prince. Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Super this. Logs, skilling, yes. Leap Thief, yes. You want to also scale this as well because anything that we can sneak out for more of our prints equals bigger better and makes things much, much easier. And Deforesting all doubt, Chopping Whiz stat has chopping efficiency increase. Yes, this also helps with your efficiency. No, I do not suggest XP, even though it's a 1-to-1. I mean, 100% XP isn't necessarily meant to be worth it because also you don't want to over level your mages anyways because you want your V-Man to be a high higher level so then he gets the skill efficiency to everybody else, because you want to make sure your V-Man is the highest level. So I never suggest to super any of these skill XPs. And chopping it up easy, because no, it doesn't scale very well. So for the top row, ice shards, no. Who uses ice shards? What are you, stupid? Don't be using ice shards, all right? Put that where it doesn't belong, in the garbage. Floor's lava, I didn't find it to scale as much as I would like it to, so I would say it's situational. I personally can't suggest it, in my personal opinion. Tornadoes, yes, tornadoes is a very, just overall, a good ability. Speedy Book, scaling's also an issue, so it's like kind of meh at best. And Mana's Life, also same thing, scaling issue. For the middle tab, no, I don't suggest Paperwork is great because it's a scaling issue. The stuff sucks at scaling. I know it sucks. Same with Occult Obols. We don't really use Wisdom Obols. We use more drop rate Obols anyways. Statues, scaling, kind of terrible. Wizwumbo, same thing. You have the super points, sure. Charge Siphon, yes, if you want a super to get an abundance of souls, you know, definitely can't hate that. I mean, I would take it if I were you. It's pretty great. It's pretty awesome, but we still have the same issues we have with like critters. Like we get a lot, but this is good for like leveling up alchemy bubbles that require an abundance, because I'm getting like 100 trillion or something for my bubbles for my souls. Same thing, efficiency, great. I mean, anything that we can do to get efficiencies for our skills, that's definitely something we want. Worship XP, no, don't super. I don't suggest it. You want to keep your V-Man higher. Nearby outlet, you would think charge rate is better. We tested it, it's dog. Early education, same reason. Who needs talent points? Just level up your alchemy. Meteor shower, yes, gives you more meteors, which means more AoE damage, which means faster map clears. Lightning barrage, I can't really suggest it. I would say it's situational if you're pushing bosses or trying to do high damage, but it's just, I don't know. It's not something, it just doesn't have really much slow, and it's but it has really high damage. So, I mean, it's situational. Chain bolt, yes. Anything that gives you more AoE while killing mobs, 100%. I would say lightning barrage as well, as if you're like struggling to push portals. So that could help. Dimensional wormhole. Again, there's been a buff to orb and portal. So now I suggest for you to super this. Absolutely. Very good. Very awesome. Chaotic force, no. Scaling, trash. Believer strength, scaling's trash. Memorial skulls, yes. Same for every other reason. Skill whiz, utmost intellect, the same deal as every other skill that I've said before. And Family Guy, no. Polytheism, if we could, it would be really good, but we can't, because this actually gives you quite a bit of divinity points, believe it or not. So, I mean, still max it out, but yeah, we can't, unfortunately. Share beliefs, yeah, sure. It's extra divinity XP. Why not? More divinity XP for all characters, the better. God ranks, it's okay. It's not that great. I have 12 God ranks and I have 85% damage. It's pretty mid. Can't necessarily suggest it. And of course, you want to max out and super Wormhole Emperor, because this gives you multiplicative damage, which of course we want. More multiplicative damage, the better we are. Holy moly, now it's time for the Arcane Cultist. You know it, I know it, we all know it, big X, except for smart efficiency. Because guess what? Logs. And this tab, oh, guess what? Same as before, logs. Now this is where the Arcane Cultist has a smooth criminal is the Shaman tab. Crazy concoctions, it's like ice shards. Nobody uses this. You should never use this. No. Auspicious Aura, I would say this comes into a situational tier. It's decent if you want like a full range motion, but our Tentacle Eye is so fast now that half the time we barely even cast it. But it's really good for like stuff like Dog's Den. So if you want to try push Dog's Den, yeah, you could super Auspicious Aura if you wanted to. Sizzling Skull, of course, it's our auto attack. You want to make sure that we can scale this as high as possible, because this is going to be the creme of the crop. Tentacle Eye, this is our bread and butter. This is big juice. We can get up to 5 seconds now. We are probably getting pretty close to 6 seconds. I don't think it even scales to 6 seconds of 700, but if it does, oh baby, this is just going to be skulls. That's all it is. It's just going to be skulls. Skull damage, skull damage, skull damage. So, I mean, we're getting to a point where Bubo is going to probably use like one ability. And that's it. So, Arcane Cultist, one ability all the way through. Easy. So yeah, I would suggest to super this, because any more percent that we can get is the better. And of course, it's invincibility. Bro, we're immortal anyways. We don't need this. Middle tab, same before. Viral Vials, bad scaling. Occultic Obols, we use drop rate Obols. Stupendous Statues, bad scaling. Lumberbob. Wizwumbo, maybe if you want to use for logs, and then you can't even do flasks. And of course, you want a super cranium cooking, because super cranium cooking is like literally how we push alchemy. So that would be silly not to. So this is 100% yes. Yes, please. Busy Brewing. This is brew speed for colored cauldrons. why are you not done your alchemy yet? This is bubble breakthrough. This is situational because alchemy XP, but at the same time, why are you not done your alchemy yet? Sharing some smarts, no, all characters same cauldron get more alchemy. Yeah, but why are you not done your alchemy yet? It's actually not, alchemy gets really, really slow, so it's kind of meh. And then early education, of course, they do alchemy. Top page for bubonic conjurer page, chemical warfare. No, we don't even barely use this. And even if we do, it's totally fine the way it is. Flatulent spirit, with the respawn so fast, we barely ever cast spirit, but I also don't necessarily suggest to super this because scaling is kind of dookie better. Tamper injection, I haven't seen a day in life where we've touched tampered injection. Plague stricken, kind of dookie scaling. And I mean, it is for skulls, you know, it definitely drops a bunch of skulls, but yeah, no. And raised dead. Raised dead already has an insane range, so there's no point of supering it unless you're trying to respawn things from the moon. Absolutely pointless otherwise. It does the whole map. There's no reason to super it. Next line, memorial skulls. I don't even need to say why. Skill whiz and utmost intellect. You know the drill. Purple tubes, line width, you're going to get to a point where you can hit everything without even needing this. Green tube gives lab XP, including you. You're at a point now where we really don't need lab XP, but it is all skill XP. So it is situational if you do want to push a little bit of skill XP if you have the V-Man enhancement. Essence of lab, it's lab XP. Lab XP and efficiency, it's lab XP. We don't need this anymore. If you're at this point in time in the game, you don't need this. And Symbols Beyond, of course, we can. And of course, Arcane Cultist, Arcanist form. Yes, in Arcanist form, take it. If not, don't take it. Tesseract. If you're in Arcanist form, take it. If not, don't take it. Arcane Skulls. Yes, this is part of the bread and butter of our build. We want to make sure that these last as long as possible because then we get more damage, more mob kills equals better. And Arcane Crystals. We do want to super this so we can get a much arcane mobs as possible. Absolutely, you want to get this. And Overwhelming Energy is going to be situational if you're at the point where you're trying to push it past 1.5. But if you're at a point where you're trying to push it past 1.5, I mean, you spent 16 years on a map and you should move on. Go to a different map if you're at 1.5. What are you doing? Okay? I'm looking at you people that farm in Rams or Zenith. Okay? Those are the exact same people that I'm looking at right now. You know who you are. Next line, we have Ghastly Power. Yes. If you're in Arcanist form, take it. If not, no. Ghoulish Power. No, I don't suggest accuracy. It's kind of, God, I'm just lagging so bad right now. Ghoulish Power. Arcanist accuracy. You don't need it, so don't bother supering it. Lobotomizer. Yes, I mean, sure. If you're in Arcanist form, if you need the extra crit chance, you can take it. Scaling's kind of dookie, but the choice is yours. Individuality. Yeah, if you need extra wisdom and you have the extra points, do it. And Primo Prismas. If you're farming Primo Prismas, sure, you take it. Completely situational though. And the final line, we have Essential Essences. Yes, you want to take this. This will make your summoning upgrades very, very, very cheap. So doing the super makes them that much cheaper. So that means you can push endless faster. This is just summoning XP and the chance to double familiars. Yes, do this, especially with the new legendary talent. This actually is very, very good. You definitely 100% want to super this. Summoning doublers, anything we can do to make summoning easier, we want to double 100% no matter what. Tachyon Truth, I don't suggest it. It's not something that you need to worry about. And backup energy. Yes. Oh, yes, this helps with pushing as well because you need less kills for Arcanist. And it also increases your tacky gain. So overall, it's just good all around. So Arcane Cultist is actually in a really good spot. His supers are super beneficial. And finally, the man that started it all, the G-Man. Voidwalker, but originally was the Maestro. And guess what? Guess what? I don't suggest any of this other than carry capacity. Why? Stamps. And pushing tome for most G-Mesh held in storage. Other than that, it's all mid. It's all mid. For the top line, for the Journeyman, don't suggest this. Indiana Attack Whip, kind of dookie butter, breaking the bank, bad scaling. You're not farming anything. I mean, if you think you're doing any V-Man for any level of combat other than bossing, you're crazy. Two Punch Man doesn't really matter. Gimme, yes, you do want to double this because it gives you more chance for 2 times loot. So, of course, we want 2 times loot. That is something that you want to super. For the middle line, Lucky Hit, no. Scaling's kind of bad. All equipment for more luck, no. Scaling's kind of bad. Straight up cash. Who farms cash on this character? No. Lucky Horseshoe, no. And Curse of Mr. Looty. I mean, loot for total damage. This is a bossing character. This is a bossing and skilling character. He's not meant for anything else. Yeah, I know. You maybe say, oh, Griffy, what about Crystal Countdown? Get off the Crystal Countdown horse, okay? It's time to put the drugs down. It's time to get help. You need help. You're going too far off the deep end. For the last one, it's your birthday. No, scaling's bad. Come out, crystals. Scaling's kind of dookie anyways, and you're not really crystal farming on this character. Cards galore. I mean, you can if you want, but the scaling's pretty terrible. Item rare everywhere. Again, scaling is terrible, but re-roll, please. I do suggest this because you have a chance of re-rolling items to re-roll the nothing trophy. Yeah, that's right. I can tell you not to do drugs, but I'm the one that's still on it. I'm going to get it eventually, and supering this talent makes it so I can get it. Even if it gives me an extra percent, I don't care. Super this talent. Come at me. It is what it is. Coin toss, no. You know, an active character. Skill is damage, no. Scaling is pretty bad, so, I mean, no. Printer goes burr, yes. Yes. Even if I'm pretty sure printer goes burr percentage is capped, it just doesn't tell us, you get more hours for printing. I get 17 hours per proc. That's a lot, man. That's a lot. Yes, you want to super this. This is big. This is what the whole reason why he's good. Triple jab, no. One step ahead, yes, because this gives you void points. More void points, better. It's like 100 void points for super talent. It's kind of worth. It's kind of worth if you're trying to boost stuff up. Not to mention, most things in the other tab can't be supered. Lucky charms on the next line, no. Bad scaling, because luck effect is kind of Almost give more luck. We use drop rate, skill AXP, Ka-Chow, and Feisty. It's bad scaling. Blissed chips, yes. Blissed chips is pretty good. It has decent scaling. So yeah, I mean, if you want some more skill XP, sure, you can do that. And obviously, we can't do the containers. And for the last line, we have Maestro Transfusion. I can't suggest it. I don't know. I just can't. It's just a little too much, little too crazy. It's getting to a point where it's reducing so much that I'm actually getting less XP. So can't suggest it. Crystal Countdown? No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't suggest Crystal Countdown. You can if you want. I'm not going to. And I'm going to stand by that. Yeah, if I hear it in the comments, don't care. I'm going to like it anyways. I'm going to comment on it and say thanks for the +1. And it's what it is. Okay. Left hand of learning. Yes, this is giving you more XP if he's higher level than everybody else. And right hand of action. Absolutely. This is skill efficiency for all the other characters leveled. Yes, you need to have this. This is 100% yes. You should be supering this stuff. This is part of why your prints can get higher. This is why you don't want to super any of the other skill XP for the other characters, because you never want them to surpass your V-Man, because that's how you get more efficiency. Big brain, trust me. And then obviously J-Man was better. You don't want to super that. And for the final tab of the video, we have the top one. Void Trial Rerun. Yes, you want to super this. This gives you way more seconds for your trial run, which is just arguably, why would you not? You want as many seconds as possible, so this is 100% something that you should be doing. Void Radius, yes, not only increases your pixels of how much it hits, it also gives you the multi-kill per tier, which also is very good for prints. And Bossing Vein, this gives you more mob respawn, which in return increases your prints, so when you take it specifically in Void speedrun mode, that's how you get the massive amount of green mushroom spore kill prints. Quad jab, no. Enhancement, it doesn't even go past 250. So no. And unfortunately, with most of these other ones, you actually can't super any of them. So by default, these get a big fat no. There you go, my dudes. But yeah, that was a long ass video. So if you watched to the end, give yourself a pat on the back. You're a real one. You're a hero. You are my savior, because yeah, this was an effort and a half. So tell me what you think, and stay tuned for other guides. This is just easy while I have the editor working on the beautiful free-to-play series. So if you haven't gone check that, make sure to go ahead. And on top of that, since we're here, Griffy Plus has been supposedly a platinum trophy. What I was supposed to be channel, we are changing it to a clips channel. So if you guys want to check that out, check out the new clips channel. We are going to be starting releasing, I think, in December. So should be 28 videos a month. Hopefully, fingers crossed, anything can happen. If you're watching this at this point in time and you don't see any of those videos come out, well, then probably something horribly went wrong. But anyways, my dudes, it's been the talent video for ya. Hope you guys enjoyed. But anyways, I gotta go back to guide grind. Stay tuned for the next IdleOn video. Stay safe, happy grinding, and peace out.
What's going on? Bong bizzle. Bong bizzle. Bong bizzle. Bong bizzle.